Yeah, got my popcorn for the show, it's Tubi time. Cheesy sci-fi flicks, and every weird rhyme. Aliens and spaceships made of tinfoil dreams in a cardboard universe where nothing's as it seems.
Welcome to To Be Decided, a podcast that watches one of Tubi's B-movie gems and analyzes it because they're so much fun to watch. My name is Mike, and I am with Ivy, Adam, and Vincent. Say hi, guys.
Hi,
Say
guys.
hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Oh, that literal humor. I live for it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Adam, it was your turn to pick the movie. And you want to tell us what you were thinking going into this?
Well, what first caught my eye was the title, "Don't Mess with Grandma." And then right on the cover, right there, staring me dead in the eyes, was one Michael Jai White. And I was like, hey, if there's anyone that's gonna stop me from messing with someone's grandma, it's gonna be Michael Jai White. So I was in it. I was in it, and I had to see what what it was all about.
Valid.
All right. Valid. Yep. Show of hands, who has a Michael Jai White crush? All right. I'm guessing everyone put their hand up.
Yes.
All right. Yes.
Your
In
hand's
fact,
not up, you're wrong.
Let's all go through and talk about what our favorite Michael Jai White movie is.
He does a lot of movies where you're stuck in a prison and you have to do an underground fight club. So just name one of those.
Right. Or Spawn.
Yes. Oh. He made it for Spawn, yeah. Yes. In fact, I was going to say, if there was two booths and one had Terry Crews and the other had Michael Jai White, my body would split into two to get both of those. Like, that's how I feel about both of those actors.
Yeah, they just both seem to just have fun regardless of like what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I think Terry Crews has more fun because this Michael Jai White film is his like first kind of foray into comedy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, Michael Jai White probably has fun kicking people. He can kick so high. Like if you're standing on a mountain and he's at the bottom, he can kick you in the face without his feet leaving the ground. True story.
Well, in all fairness, who doesn't love kicking people?
Yeah. I do it every day.
Got to do what you love.
Mm-hmm.
I did it 5 minutes ago.
Wow. You're just recording while you're just like kicking people in your home.
Oh, that's hyperbole, people.
Do not call the abuse centers. Yes. So, a little background about this movie. Don't Mess with Grandma is a Tubi exclusive from 2024, starring, of course, Michael Jai White, but also Billy Zane. And as far as I know, these two actors are probably the highest quality actors we've had on this show. In terms of movie. Right? There was, I mean, in the Dragon Ball episode, that girl won Best Taiwanese Breakout Artist in 1991. Right.
But we're talking about the Phantom here.
Right? Slam Evil.
Exactly. This is Hollywood royalty.
Right. And this is also indicative of kind of the vibe Tubi wants you to have. They want you to know that they're getting the fun actors, the actors that you kind of remember in the back of your brain, and they're putting them into these lead roles, and they're having lots and lots of fun with it. And sometimes they're doing, movies with two-headed sharks, and sometimes they're just doing like this beefed up, souped up Home Alone, but instead of traps, it's Michael Jai White's foot
Just kicking
Exactly.
people.
Yes.
Instead of
Here
a
for a-
kid, it's a grandma.
Yes.
We're here for a fun time, not a good time.
Right. Live by those rules. So, in terms of ratings, this movie is probably the most prestigious in that it actually has a review from Collider, in which Collider says this movie is kind of all over the place. It doesn't really get where it's going.
For
I'm
a
sorry,
Tubi movie,
Collider.
that's high praise.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, Collider did not like this movie, but I think after you hear us explain it, you will be on board. And the IMDb score is 7.0, which makes it the second highest rated movie that we've ever reviewed. And the only reason it's the second highest is because somebody spam reviewed Cash Storm.
Yeah, get those ballot stuffers out of here.
Yeah.
Anyways, you ready to go through the plot?
I am.
Yeah, I got a couple of background things. Nothing that adds incredibly much,
Mhm.
but this movie was originally going to be called Sunset Superman, which makes zero sense.
Yes.
I have no I have no idea, and the uh the director for this, Jason Krasinska,
Krozik.
Krozik, that guy.
Hmm.
Um, he's best known for his like next highest rated movie is something called He Never Died.
But that was on like Netflix.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
with
was like an actual movie.
someone named Henry Rollins as the main character. So
Oh.
Yeah,
So
no name actors.
IMDb actually thinks Don't Mess with Grandma rates higher than He Never Died. So,
Oh, wow.
amen.
This,
Oh,
this
I'm
might
also
be
seeing
his
that
Citizen Kane.
Mhm.
he wrote something called The Clown Holocaust.
Yeah, there it is.
Two words that deserve to go together, of course.
Anyways, so just to set the stage for, what you're about to see.
Hmm. All right, so let's go scene by scene so we can figure out how this movie enriched our lives. So it starts off with Michael J. White as Jesper and his job to deliver orders to elderly folks. He kind of has a looking after an elderly community job where he does uh, jobs for them.
Kind of like Meals on Wheels, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The very first shot is just him being harassed by a goose.
I love that.
Yeah.
right. So we kind of get from this that he is very respectful, very he has like an honor code for the elderly. So later he meets Trent, who is kind of like a bum dude. They make a joke about eating peppers and about how Trent can destroy toilets, and
Mostly
how
relatable.
yeah,
Yeah. Me.
J- Jesper or JT says, "Please do not wreck Grandma's toilet." Then the conversation of taking Grandma to Shady Acres because she shouldn't be living so far away from him in a lonely house comes up, and he doesn't know how he's going to break it that she should go there. In which, right after they get into this pun war where they put the word bear into every sentence. I barely knew it. It's too much to bear. some other pun jokes. And it kind of sets the stage that there are going to be a lot of slapstick conversations in this movie.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right, and just a blatant ripoff of Up. Like the retirement home that they want the grandpa or whatever to go to, it's called like Shady Oaks or something.
Yes.
I barely noticed.
Yeah. And they in that conversation they're talking about long hots. Is that
Yeah, what
is
is
that
a
a
long
term?
hot?
Is that like a statewide phrase for hot dog?
Oh.
I looked up long hot, and Google says long hot. Do you mean long hot peppers? It's a type of chili pepper that are long, thin, and firm.
So okay, so these people just eat them?
I don't know.
Fun?
It looked
For
like they were
fun.
eating hot dogs.
Yes.
It's just a hot dog, but instead of a hot dog, it's just a pepper with like ketchup on it.
Ooh, delectable.
Mm.
All right. Then the title in a very formal font that I think you can get in Windows Movie Maker, "Don't Mess with Grandma," appears on the screen.
Words to live by.
Yeah.
The first joke, or the first kind of like character development for JT or Jesper, is that he loves audiobooks. And that's his only way to pass the time when he's driving over to Grandma's house. So he listens to what I can only think is like a parody of Harry Potter called, I called it Larry Potter, but it's an impersonation of like your generic YA teen fantasy.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was getting like, I was getting like high fantasy vibes.
Well, yeah, I was a little interested myself
Like
about
that
the.
story seemed more interesting than the one that we got, but I digress.
This is the main debate: is what genre was his audiobook?
Uh, it definitely, I think it got picked up by WB for 7 movies. So he gets there by nighttime, gets up to Grandma's house, has to trick the dog Rufus to run outside because he has a bad relationship with this dog.
It's always named Rufus, right? Or
Yeah.
something like Rufus, like
Movie dogs are always Rufus or Einstein.
Yeah,
or Yeller.
yeah. Rufus isn't in the IMDb credits, so we don't know this dog's film career.
Maybe he was a CGI dog then.
Yeah.
Rufus got robbed.
Yeah.
It was a guy in a suit.
Yikes.
But do you know what wasn't CGI?
Grandma.
Grandma and her giant bear likeness that she puts right into Jesper's face.
With like googly eyes pretty much on
Yes.
I know. I know. But like the bear alone was startling, but the googly eyes, I was like, what?
Definitely worth
I
the
mean-
price of admission.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I don't go anywhere without a pack of googly eyes I can, stick on
Mhm.
stuff to prank in public.
Yeah, if only there was an Oscar movie that used googly eyes. Can't think of any though.
Well, that would have been everything.
Yes, all
Yeah.
at once. Okay. So we learned that Grandpa has left the picture. He's gone off to heaven, much to Grana's, sadness.
I don't know. Do you think he went to heaven? I don't know.
That's
He's committed some
debatable.
pretty serious crimes.
Right.
Because he immediately finds out that this terrifying taxidermy bear was like illegally hunted because she was like a mother of cubs He just shot the cub's mother.
Yeah, he's so proud. Like, oh yeah, he found the mother and then he hunted down the cubs. Not cool, Grandpa.
That's like the exact opposite of what Teddy Roosevelt was known for. Like man goes on a hunting trip, doesn't bag any bears. His buddies find a baby bear, bring him. He's like nope, wouldn't be right. I'm not going to shoot that bear.
Grandpa was looking up
Grandpa's
at
like, nah, I'll do it.
He was looking for the babies. So we go to the kitchen where Mom throws out all of JT's food and decides to cook with it for him. She's cooking chicken corn chowder, where we learned that the dish does not have any corn or chicken. It's just chowder.
Yeah,
The
what is
conversations were so funny though. Like I almost spit out my water at some of these like first parts. Like the line delivery was just so funny.
Right.
And he's like, "Where's the chicken?" Like, "Oh, I don't have that." "Where's the corn?" "We don't have corn." Like,
The
It's
writing is just on point.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you described it as like a really well done Mad TV skit, Mike,
Right.
and that is very accurate.
Yeah, it feels like something Michael Key would write.
Yeah.
interesting?
Yeah.
I was getting like fifth grade play vibes.
Oh,
Okay, well, I heard the bit, and I went to Cowboy Bebop, like the first episode where Jet is making food. Spike's like, "What is it?" It's like, "It's my special, bell peppers and beef." And it turns out there's no beef in it. Like it's just the name, bell peppers and beef.
Right.
mm,
Where that is intentional, this did not feel intentional.
yeah.
And then in the next scene, she's
Mhm.
reading a book at the dinner table.
Please tell us. Please tell
And-
us all about this book.
Well, there's actually a plot relevant thing where she's wearing her dead husband's glasses. So it's not her prescription, so she can't see well. And she mentioned that the grocery delivery boy said that it would be fine to wear them. And that's actually kind of relevant later. But
Right.
she's having a hard time reading, so he takes the book from her and starts to read to her and realizes that it's smut and then immediately stops.
He's like
And that made me almost spit out my water.
he's deep into
Very
like
funny.
an erotic scene.
Yeah.
Very funny.
Hey,
Right.
All the
Hey.
additional fiction in this story were better than the actual story.
This movie has deep lore. Yeah.
hey, grandma's still human.
Right?
I'm just saying.
We also have to mention that Grandma's hearing is very bad. And that's kind of like the premise for how the plot continues. Is like Grandma can't hear things.
Well, it's almost like the running joke is Grandma can hear things, just not when they come from Michael Jai White.
Not when they're important.
Not when they come from his feet either. His
Only
kick.
when they're relevant to the plot.
Yeah. So, immediately you see a masked man in a pig mask enter through the window. And I know that they're parodying the movie Who's Next? Anyone see that movie?
I've heard of it.
I did not.
It's a family that's well, so first it's a Goldberg quote, which
Yes.
is neither here nor there. But it's about a family that's having like a dinner together. I think it's called Who's Next.
No, I think it's
Is it Your Next?
You're
Yeah.
next. Okay, I was thinking of Goldberg. Okay.
Nothing
So
wrong
you're
with that.
next. And these invaders come in with like animal masks and they just start murdering people and becoming this huge threat. This is definitely a nod to that movie.
Yeah, except that these masks, they're like, you know what Uncanny Valley is, right? Hopefully people listening will hear me say the words Uncanny Valley.
Yeah.
It's like that, but imagine there was a whole section of it in Spirit Halloween.
Yeah.
Like these were pig masks with big human smiles.
Yes.
Like it was
Very
genuinely
disturbing.
disturbing.
Yes.
So, we see the masked pigman enter. He's holding a knife. Instantly, Michael J. White just kicks him, beats him up, throws him out. Meanwhile, Grandma is oblivious. Just seeing the fact that he can just throw out a would-be murderer and just be like, go on now, and just kind of leave it at that, is kind of the tone for the rest of the movie. This movie takes something like potential murder from invaders and makes it the most casual, like non-threatening thing.
Right.
Like chasing raccoons out the trash.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's an act of genius or they did it by accident. Like midway, they're like, man, no one's taking these guys seriously. Should we just make this a comedy? Michael, put on this like jean vest. Mm-hmm. So, Jasper throws him out the window. Then we meet the robbers. Did anyone get all their names?
Nope.
You kind of get them sprinkled out. So there's we meet Ted and Pam, and then there's a Jan and a Carl. And we realize these guys are not threatening at all. They like to complain. Right. They like to debate each other. Lots of slapstick jokes. They're complaining about their injuries. I think it was Jan who said, this Michael J. White, he probably worships Satan. He bathes with goat sluts.
Goats can be sluts?
Yes, and then they got into a debate about whether goats can be sluts.
Peak writing.
Mm-hmm.
They can't not be.
Right. So I want everyone to write to us, can goats be sluts?
Yeah. You decide.
Yes.
Like a famous...
Give us your answers in the comments.
It's like a famous Middle Ages court case where they debated whether a pig was capable of murder.
I'm glad this movie is all about the puzzles and riddles.
Yeah.
Asking all the right questions.
So, apparently, Michael J. White is completely fine with these guys just kind of hanging out within earshot, planning how they're going to kill him and rob the grandma. Does not ring any alarms with him.
Yeah.
But he does
He
look
doesn't
for
call the police or get any help. He just...
Right.
Yeah.
He finds like an old shotgun. He looks in a bullet case box, finds puzzle pieces. Looks in a puzzle box, finds bullets. And
not
then the
shotgun shells.
Yeah, they're not shotgun shells, so they don't even match.
Nope.
Typical grandma putting bullets in the wrong box.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Then we meet a Boy Scout-looking guy named Stan, played by Billy Zane. He's complaining, telling others they shouldn't swear. Kind of the Ned Flanders of the group.
He literally gets called Ned Flanders.
Yeah. I can't unsee it.
Yeah. Immediately, Michael J. White realizes the dog got outside. So he has no problem just running outside, grabbing bowling past the would-be murderers, grabbing the dog, going back. He meets the Boy Scout, Stan. Stan has a shotgun. But Michael J. White does this thing that he's done in other movies, where he walks right up to the gun, grabs the nozzle, and says, "Go on, shoot me, shoot me." He's done that in a few other movies. So I'm glad that they had that.
It's his
They had
thing.
they had respect for his canon.
Yep. Stan is unable to shoot him because he's geeky and dorky. And Michael J. White knocks him out, kicks him out of the house, says, and just kind of ends it there. You know, don't come back, y'all. We cut to dinner, where Michael J. White sits down with Grana and tries to start the conversation about Shady Acres. We get a clue about they kind of clue us in about his family. Like his mother might have. Did she leave?
Yeah,
Or did she abandon Grandma?
That's kind of the lore drop that we get is,
Yeah.
you know, Grandma's daughter, you know, JT's mom. I guess she had him, and then she skipped town. So JT was basically raised by Grandma.
Yep.
Also, did anyone really notice that, I didn't feel like he was young enough or she was old enough, to be his grandmother? Like, it looked more like, like mother-son, age difference. Because, he's not supposed to be, super young. He's not, 20. And she looks like she's in her 60s. And that's his grandma.
Yeah.
That didn't really add up to me.
That's fair. I mean that people did start families, earlier,
right,
back in the day.
Yeah, but he didn't he say that he fought in Kosovo?
Yes.
So he had to have been at least 18 in 1999.
Right.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well,
So that means he'd be almost 50 plus, at the time of the movie, if it's in 2024.
Right. Well, here's the thing. He's been around, the actor's been around for a long time. He's got a lot of 90s hits. I mean, he wasn't even a young guy when he was doing Spawn. So how they made him look so young in this movie is kind of
right.
Yeah. He looks like he's maybe 35. Well, I think part of it's because he's kind of wearing a dorky outfit that an older man would not wear. But he gives off I'm a young dude.
Right.
Well, he's not that young.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I felt like I could kind of clock him, kind of they seem like they took the army vet aesthetic. I don't think we mentioned that.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
But yeah, it does come up later that he was an army ranger, and he did serve in Kosovo, and I'm actually an army vet myself, not a ranger. No, didn't do anything prestigious like that, but it kind of tracks. It kind of tracks.
Uh-huh.
He's driving the 2000 something Mustang that he probably ended up getting as a young, specialist or sergeant, that he wouldn't have been able to afford the car payments if he wasn't in the army. And he still got it because, he's out, and I mean, it's what he can afford.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. He kind of has like this old soul wisdom, like he's been through a lot. And that's
Yeah,
why
we tend to get that a lot.
he's so chill about it. Yeah. Yeah. So to you, Vincent, like he's playing very well to his character.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Which is good. Someone did their homework.
Michael Jai White.
Yes. He does everything. All right. So after dinner, Carl appears. And we're going to see a lot of Carl. But Michael J. White aims a gun at him, in which we find that we learn that the robbers they ask, "Can we ransack the place while you wait in the car?" They literally said, "We're just going to steal from your house. You can wait in the car. We'll be right out of your hair in no time."
Yeah.
The most
Just
casual
very
threat you'll
polite,
ever hear.
like, you know.
Yeah.
They realize at first that, you know, the whole B&E and assault method
Mhm.
wasn't really working for them. So
Mm-hmm. They even admit that like it was Ted's idea to do the masks. Yeah. So incredibly, and we also learned that the robbers are kind of like related. Like Carl's aunt is there, and there's a husband and wife team, Stan and Jan. Um,
There were
and
siblings too, weren't there? There were siblings.
Yeah.
yeah, and they're like, "Oh, mom's gonna be so angry when she." So it's kind of like just a weird sample of villain. Well, back to the action, and we get a lot of repeated beats where these guys just try to go into the house, and Michael J. White or Rufus just destroy them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it happens like 4 times.
yeah. So first, Rufus starts biting Carl. Um, then
in,
Rufus,
in the
yes,
buttocks.
in the,
that was Stan.
yeah.
That was Stan. Rufus chomped down on Stan's booty.
Wasn't there a groin shot too?
That was a
Probably.
kick.
Yeah, I think he
think.
got
Oh,
kicked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So Stan just gets destroyed in the butt and genital area. Shots go out to Grandma. She's none the wiser. She has no idea why these things are happening.
Yeah, he'll be like stabbing someone in the living room and she's like, "What's going on there?" And he's like, "Everything's fine."
Yes. The robbers. We start to learn that Michael J. White is a military man, so it was revealed. And the robbers say, "Oh, should we call the McDougalls yet?" And so there's a threat that there's a backup team coming.
It's always the McDougalls.
Yeah.
Mhm. O'Doyle's rule.
O'Doyle's rule.
Now that you say that, I'm a little surprised it wasn't the MacGuffins.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So one thing I like about this movie is that Michael J. White has no qualms with throwing a woman out the window.
Yeah, he's just throwing hands at everyone.
Yeah, he threw everybody out the window.
So when Pam like sneaks in through the roof, he just grabs her, throws her out on the deck.
Hey, you know what they say, the hammer of justice is unisex.
Hmm.
Yes, we know you have that tattoo. Mm,
Across my knuckles.
yes.
Nice. I'm totally stealing that idea.
So then the conversation of, should I kill these people? I really don't want them. And he even says, man, I really like that there was a karate guy in there named Pam. And he's like, man, I really enjoyed the eye contact with Pam. I think he's referring to Pam. But he'll go off onto like, man, I really like some of those guys. They had good eye contact. But man, should I kill them? I don't know. So once again, no alarms. No lives feel like they're going to be harmed, except if you're a robber who was recently attacked by Michael J. White. Then we get to our first kill. Who's the first person that gets killed?
The old dude. I didn't catch his name.
Is his name Bill?
I think it's Bill.
That feels right. That feels right.
So Bill, Mr. Bandana, tries to go through the window. Rufus jumps into the bathroom, murders the guy. Straight
Blood
up.
everywhere.
Blood everywhere. R-rated.
Too much blood.
I want to know where that dog went. Like, did he go straight for like an artery?
Right.
Must have.
Like, even the angle. Like, how did the dog's teeth hit like the throat at that angle for like such an instant kill?
Yeah, but long story short, Bill is DED dead.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
but first, Michael J. White has to sing to him. He takes him into the tub and sings to him as he's dying and bleeding out. Which I thought it was like funny, like that he's trying to perform this song for him, trying to as his like the man who's like dying from
like, giving him his last rites.
Mm-hmm. So cut back to Grandma. She's looking for Michael J. White. And now we get to the smart karate kid. Now, I don't want to sound insensitive. The actor is named Pam. Or the character's name is Pam. The actor or actress is S. Holder Moser. And I could not tell if this dude is a girl or a boy. Is that bad? I'll apologize if...
I mean, it's inferred that they're non-binary, so I mean, that's... No, I mean, that's...
I thought
it's fair to question, I think.
I feel like they referred to them as a girl.
Right, like, like the first half of is it a karate guy or karate gal?
I thought that they said that she was like a top tier female kickboxer.
Okay.
And that she like had won like a jiu-jitsu tournament or something.
Okay. I don't want to do...
I mean, ass-kicking knows no gender. So.
Yes. I don't want to do any injustice to this actress because, you know, she does one of the better fight scenes. She confronts Michael J. White, and they start getting into like a kickboxing fight. Now, if you've ever watched Michael J. White's Undisputed movies, this is where he's doing like the submission holds and the kicks and the limb breaking, and they kind of do like a watered down version of it, but it's a pretty good fight. Pam is choking him out. They're punching, kicking, back fisting, all that.
Pam is like a rabid spider monkey.
Right. I mean, this is the closest they've ever gotten to defeating the main character. So we get into that fight. You know, Michael J. White says, enough of this. He grabs Pam, and they crash through a balcony out onto the floor, or onto the grass. Both of them wrecked pretty good. In which Michael J. White says, "Oh, this is where we met." And she's like, "Oh, I hate you."
Fair.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Stan is bleeding in the butt. And that's my only note for that.
Didn't they tape like
Entire
Paper
paper
towels.
towel
Yeah.
rolls.
yeah, rolls, yeah.
They made like a Swiss seat out of duct tape
Yeah.
to hold them on, just like around the waist, around the thighs, in the middle, yeah, it was
Very funny.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It could not be funny.
Right. It's that slapstick we so desire. So, they get into this. So, Carl just kind of is walking by. Michael J. White, Jesper, grabs him, holds a wood shard up to his neck.
That he pulled out of his own arm.
Yeah, he pulled out of his own
Yeah.
arm. Then the group is, while they're trying to talk the hostage situation down, they're also arguing what defenestrated means. So Michael J. White is saying, no, defenestrated is like when you go over a balcony. And they're like, no, it has to be a window.
I feel like we're learning so much with this movie.
Yeah. It's educational.
Mm-hmm.
Defenestrated.
He trips over the very dead Bill. And then they're like, oh, crap. There's a death. So now they have to figure out where to put this dead body. And there's no screaming. There's no, oh my gosh, you killed our friend. It's
Right.
just like, oh man, we got to deal with this.
Paperwork.
Yeah, the paperwork. Didn't they say like there's so much paperwork?
Something.
Yeah. They're talking about how to get the body disposed of. Meanwhile, Carl is inside with Jesper, and he meets Grandma. And what does Grandma say? Oh, I recognize you, Carl. You're the pharmacist who told me about the glasses. Dun dun
Oh.
dun.
No. He's the med student that was coming by to help her out by like delivering groceries.
Yeah,
and
he's the
stuff.
grocery
Mhm.
boy.
Okay, he's not the
Yeah.
pharmacist.
But he did advise her to wear the glasses.
Yeah.
Right. So
And so the plot thickens.
right. So Carl and Grandma, they know each other. Grandma invites him to chowder, in which immediately Michael J. White like crushes his hand and says, "Of course he's going to join us for chowder." Though Carl's freaking out, saying, "No, I have to go. Oh, look at the time."
He's a gentleman after all.
Okay. So, cut to the dinner scene where Michael J. White is doing a death stare at Carl while they're eating the chowder.
Neither chicken nor corn chowder.
And Grandma, the funny thing is that Grandma says, she was convincing him that it was a chicken and corn chowder. And then when he says, how are you liking your chicken corn chowder? And she's like, don't be so dim, boy. There's no chicken or corn in it. And Michael's like, oh, how foolish of me.
I like that he makes a series of murder puns.
Yes. It must be a murderous schedule. You're dead to rights. Yeah.
In reference to his cover story as a med student.
Yes. And so, Carl is peeing his pants. Like, he's just totally afraid of Jesper.
Oh, he's also holding him at gunpoint under the table.
Under the table.
Yeah, JT's got a rifle trained on his junk under the table. So there's that.
Mm-hmm. Cut to a more relaxed time where Michael J. White is explaining the rules to Rummy, that Grana wants to play Rummy with both of them. And Carl's like, "What? I don't want to play rummy. I want to leave. Please let me leave." He's like, "No, you're going to play rummy." And he's like, "It's a lot like gin." "What, the drink?" No, rummy, the game. Yeah. So Carl says all they wanted to do was burglarize the place, but now he's miffed everyone, so now they all want to kill him. And it was actually Ted that wanted the masks and knives. And what's their major plot? What's the whole end game?
They want the bear skin.
Yes, they want
Yep.
the bearskin and the copper wires. That was the whole scheme.
Oh, the MacGuffin was staring at us with its googly eyes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like with the amount of people involved, they probably could have just made that money back by opening up, like, I don't know, a lemonade stand.
True.
Yeah.
I don't know how much taxidermied bears go.
Right.
I mean, I know he said it's the last California grizzly, and which he said, "Not cool, Grandpa." Yeah.
But like, is there a market for that? Like, who's buying that?
Old
Is it
people?
ruined that it got taxidermied? That's my question. Because you have to add a lot of chemicals to it.
I think she taxidermied it, right? Because he
Right.
comes in and she's like, "Oh, I finished it," or whatever.
Yeah.
So Grandma is taxidermying with
Yeah.
her wrong prescription glasses.
While reading smut.
Yeah.
Hey, Grandma's human after all.
Yeah.
Exactly.
She's living her life.
Yeah. So Michael J. White and Carl, they decide to bring out the bear and to barter, get the guys to leave. But they see that reinforcements have come, the McDougal brothers. And the McDougals, Bill, the one who died, is actually their brother, so they are very angry.
Mm. Another bit of relevant lore being dropped there.
Yeah.
And also, the McDougals, each brother is there's I don't know, I count five, six of them, and they're all 500 pounds each. Which, that is a dinner is very important to that family.
Mm-hmm.
There is chicken and corn in their chowder.
Yes, they can afford it.
Yeah.
They need the chicken and corn.
Yeah.
For all them muscles. Support the wall of meat.
Yep. So Carl's like, "Come on, let's take the bear and leave." And the McDougals are like, "No, now we have to rob the whole house. And we have to, we really want to hurt you now." And then they get into this name-calling war where he calls him Alfred E. Newman and then Ned Flanders. And they're like, "Who's Alfred E. Newman?" Which I thought was hilarious. Oh, so meanwhile, Ted has no purpose. He's the guy in the flannel, and he's just the one that complains. He hasn't come up with a single plan, and he's just there for comedy relief. I actually thought that was Billy Zane. So robbers need to ransack the house. Two McDougals ambush Michael J. White. He knocks them out. It's so easy, just punch, kick, throw. They're down for the count. Jesper bowls through the crowd. Michael J. White just bowls through them, knocks them over like pins. Meanwhile, Grana is in the attic checking Papa's memories. So it cuts to a very sad scene where she's missing Grandpa, and just, you see a picture on the table of him holding a bear pelt over his back. So happy.
Mm-hmm.
So she's realizing, oh, here's what I lost. I'm so sad to have missed him. It was kind of touching.
Yeah. And then cut back to the gratuitous ass kicking on the front lawn.
Yeah. And the funny part is, like, Michael J. White has been doing, like, punches and kicks. And now he's, like, diversifying a little bit. He does an eye poke. He does a clothesline. Suddenly, the super tall guy shows up, and we're all thinking, oh no, boss fight, the super tall guy. No, he just takes some chains, and he just, like, Superman punches tall guy, and he's out for the count.
And
So-
doesn't he get Rufused?
Yeah, a lot of people get Rufus, too, because Rufus kind of comes out.
Mhm.
There's more fighting. He gets ganged up on. You know, he's not, like, Michael J. White's like, oh my gosh, I can't fight this army.
Then he fights the army.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he does, like, this reverse psychology talk where he's like, I surrender. I can't do anything. I can't accomplish anything. I can't accomplish anything. And then he runs and starts fighting the men again.
Yeah, it
Mhm.
was like some kind of weird, self-deprecating Hulk Hogan.
Yes. He does a reverse Hulk. So Rufus joins in the fight, as we said. The guys are in the house now. They're just, I don't know what their game plan is. They're just going to start grabbing copper. I think
Right.
it's not a job where you can just, like, smash and grab. So
Where is it?
I think it's, like, stuck in the walls and in the
I
I
think
don't know.
by definition it is a smash and grab.
It is. It's a slower smash and grab, though.
Mm.
Not a fast one. So Michael J. White runs into the house, punches guys, knocks him out. Punches another guy, knocks him out. All those guys are knocked over. Rufus and Jesper, they're sore. They're in tons of pain. They're sitting down. They're having a great moment together. It's like, oh man, you did good. You know, fist bump to the dog. Oh, sorry, you don't have any fists. You know, he's talking about how much he appreciates the dog.
Yeah. Rufus goes from, JT can't stand him to, like, you're my ride or die, dog.
Yeah. In comes Billy Zane, the final boss, the Boy Scout. He hits Rufus in the head with the butt of a gun, rifle. And then Jasper, Michael J. White, picks up Rufus, gives him a massive backbreaker. Like an Eddie Guerrero style backbreaker.
That was pretty sick.
Yep. Like, Stan is just out. He cannot stand anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then Stan and Jan have this conversation. We're like, it looks like we can't buy that huge boat. We'll have to settle for the 17-footer boat. So that was the whole reason they were in on this, is so they could get a little bit bigger boat with the money.
Oh my gosh.
Like, completely ridiculous reason to rob a house.
They were robbing the house over a boat.
Not even like receiving a boat, just receiving an updated boat.
Right.
Yep. Ted starts mouthing off at Jesper. Jesper shoots Ted in the leg, and that's the end of
Wings him in the thigh.
Yeah. That ends all the fighting. By then, everyone just kind of surrenders. There's like, this is like, they finally figured out, like, this is not gonna work.
Yeah.
Like, come on, please go home.
Yes.
Yeah, because that was when I was
tired.
That was when it was just starting to be like, they've done this bit like 4 times where, like, they go on the porch and he kicks them out the window, And just as I thought that, he, like, threw down the gun and it was like, I'm tired, just stop, go home.
Yes. And I mean, it kind of feels like, Neo versus the agents, where, like, you can't hurt me, I can't hurt you, but we can beat each other up for like a good 10 minutes.
Right.
Except these agents like complain because they're really, really hurt. Yeah.
They get hurt really bad, then go right back in.
Mm-hmm. Michael J. White goes up to the attic to meet with Grana. Grana gives him this like awesome pep talk, though he can't reveal of anything that's happened for the past hour. She has no idea that someone tried to murder her multiple times.
Did it take place in like one night?
Yeah.
What? I thought it was the span of like a couple nights. That's crazy.
Nope.
Right.
It's not.
One night.
The
It's
span
not
of like
a very
4
long
hours.
movie. It's not a long movie, but it felt long.
Right? Well, that's the funny, like that's the so chill part is that like they're literally standing outside
Right.
saying, "Should we do it? Should we not do it?" Yeah. Grana says she doesn't want to be forgotten, and she feels like she could be forgotten in this house, so she wants to go to Shady Acres.
Oh.
Carl, he's a good guy now. He helps Rufus. He says Rufus just got knocked out a little, in which they said, I didn't know dogs could get knocked out. So Rufus is okay. He's alive and well.
Mm-hmm. They use super glue to fix the laceration, which is fine. That's a completely valid way to dress a wound.
Yeah.
Yep. Then Pam, she's a swell gal. She brings back the bear.
Mm-hmm.
Did she return the bear?
I think they did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, no harm, no foul, except everything that was done was completely illegal. And,
It was
30 years
barely an
ago.
inconvenience.
Yes.
Yep.
They all sit down to a game of rummy
Roll
and
credits.
roll credits. Oh, and what song was playing 3 times? Ivy?
Sunset Superman.
Superman.
So they got the rights out of that song.
Yeah. They had it and they were going to use it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It was the credits. It was during a fight scene. I'm pretty sure it was during 2 fight scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, this song was expensive. We're going to use it.
Well, see, it's funny because that's actually the name of the movie, Everywhere But America, which makes me wonder, did Dio not want this song attached to them in America? Like did they object to this?
Yeah,
that's weird.
And
It
if
is,
they
isn't
did,
it?
how come they didn't get rights in the other countries to object?
Right.
Well, because this is America.
It's oddly specific that they said it can't be this name in America. I mean, the name means no sense, as Adam pointed out.
Right.
There's neither sunsets or Superman in this movie.
And it made me wonder if it was like the production title of the movie. Kind of like how in Hollywood they have like massively anticipated projects, like a Marvel movie or something, and they'll give it like a code name,
Yeah. Project
like
Dolphin. No.
like Harry and Kumar go to Harold and Kumar go to White Castle 3.
Right.
When it's really, Avengers Doomsday.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, yeah. But I kind of feel like there's an expectation if you're doing to foreign markets, like you can say anything. And they'll be just like, oh, yeah, that's an American thing. Yeah, they call everyone Sunset Superman over there. Just like how we assume, oh, yeah, everyone's a Gundam in Japan.
Yeah.
They're just
How
funny
do they
words.
know?
Yeah.
I got 3 Sunset Superman in my apartment building.
Right. So, movie ends, and I have to ask my question. What would the sequel of this movie look like?
Hmm. Don't mess with great grandma.
Great grandma. They just keep
Well,
going down the line.
I don't see how Great Grandma could be in the picture, figuratively and literally.
I mean, there's only one logical next step for this movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
They got to be defending the retirement home.
Oh yeah. Don't mess with Shady Acres.
My gosh, that is
Right?
Don't
genius.
mess with Grandma and her friends.
I was going to do like a generation skip where now Michael J. White's the grandpa. His
Oh.
grandson, played by Tony Jaa, is the one beating up people in his cabin.
Well, based on the title, at first I thought it was gonna be, like the grandma was the one, like, like beating people up and like, shooting people. So we could do, grandma is the action hero.
I thought this was going to be adjacent to Big Mama's house.
Big Mama's house
Which I'm
meets
in.
Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
Yes.
I'm glad it was not adjacent to that.
Yeah, I was scared. I didn't know what to expect. I mean, this was not like our other movies. Like Meth Gator, you knew what you were getting.
Right.
Cat Storm, you know what you're getting. Santa Werewolf, you know what you're getting. Dragon Ball, you know what you're getting. Don't Mess with Grandma, kind of know what you're getting, but not really.
And Dante's Inferno just threw you for a whole loop through hell.
Yeah. Dante's Inferno, you didn't want what you were getting.
No.
You know?
Yeah.
It all
No.
made sense.
We didn't want this.
Yeah. So, everyone go around, say one legit, authentic thing. Like, who deserves the most credit for this movie?
Grandma. Grandma's line delivery.
Grandma, played by Jackie Richardson.
Yes.
She was very good.
Mm. Mm.
Adam, who deserves the most credit, either through set design or through acting?
Well, Michael. Doing some research for this movie, I found exactly who's the MVP. Listen to this nice little trivia bit.
Mm-hmm.
On the second day of filming, the original assistant director was heavily inebriated while driving the director and the cinematographer and the script supervisor to the set. Realizing the danger they were in while speeding and swerving all over on the highway, the director directed the intoxicated driver to pull over. The AD stumbled out of the car and then and immediately fell asleep and then got hoisted into the passenger seat. So
This
that
weapon-
director that stopped the assistant director
Yes.
is the MVP. Otherwise, we would not have gotten this movie.
Right.
Valid.
So he got no assistance and he possibly saved a life.
Yes.
Yeah.
But also, the trivia above it, they're asking what made this movie. The director said he was a massive fan and wrote it specifically for Michael J. White because he was heartbroken by the downfall of the He Never Died series. As a catharsis, he wanted to see Michael J. White punch as many people as possible in 80 minutes.
Wow.
That's the script treatment, folks.
Mission accomplished.
That's crazy.
He says this is in the style of John Carpenter's Big Trouble in Little China. Did you guys get that vibe?
A bit of a reach. It's a bit of a reach.
Mm.
There was neither big trouble or Little China in this movie.
Yeah,
It's the
sort of
same
a-
way Meth Gator is like Jurassic Park.
We wanted to capture Jurassic Park and Meth Gator. That's funny. All right. Ivy says grandma. Adam, you say the director. Vincent, who deserves the credit for this movie?
I'm gonna have to give it to, looking at IMDb, I would have to give it to Mr. Dave Dewar, who was Billy Zane's stunt double, because if he got his cake anywhere near Rufus, he did not get paid enough.
Yes. You know, we never appreciate good stunt doubles. Maybe that should be an episode we do the future.
Yeah, we definitely gotta do a stunt centric episode.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to say Michael J. White. He was a bright spot in this movie. And he
Yes.
definitely gave me Mad TV vibes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, is this movie to be the greatest, to be enjoyed, or to be disposed?
I'd say to be enjoyed, definitely.
All right,
I
Vincent.
would for Tubi,
Mm-hmm.
I would venture to say it's to be the greatest.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this
Yeah, as far as to be
is the best of what Tubi has to offer. I mean, that's saying something, but
Yeah.
guys, I mean, I don't want to call it just yet, but I think we might just have our first W movie here on Tubi Decided.
We all said we enjoyed Dragon Ball,
Did we?
but not for the same reasons we like this movie.
Enjoyed is kind of a loaded term in that case.
Yes. We didn't hate that movie.
Well,
Adam, to be enjoyed, to be the greatest, to be disposed.
I feel like the sample size isn't large enough for me to say to be the greatest. I feel like something is gonna have to like really, really wow my socks off. But also at the same time, I'm reserving the right to come back and change my opinion. Because I feel like this has the potential to be the greatest. But for me right now, I'm gonna give it like a solid like B plus to be enjoyed.
Yes.
Hey, that's fair.
Yes. I'm with Vincent on this one, in that I'm betting my career that Tubi can't do better than this.
Oh,
That, I mean, unless there's like they come out with their own version of Dune 3, you know, starring Macaulay Culkin. I'm pretty sure that like this is the ceiling for what they can do. Now there will be other to be the greatest, but it will be as good as this because I don't think the realm can be better. I'm setting myself up for proper expectations. So I'm going to say to be the greatest, but with the option to lower it when Dune 3 comes out.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Well, guess who's going to be picking our next movie on Tubi?
I'm scared.
It's Ivy. Ivy, you're scared of yourself.
I'm scared. I'm scared.
So we look forward to whatever dark, hellish thing she pulls out.
Godspeed, Ivy.
Oh boy.
mm.
Got my work cut out for me.
So, everyone, thank you so much for being a part of this experiment. I believe we're 5 episodes in or 6 episodes. I think 5.
Yeah.
Yes. Tell us what you think of Tubi Decided. It's a niche, it's an experiment, but it's a lot of fun, and I hope you're watching at least one of these movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just for the ability to talk about it and, have fun with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Bad movies are fun.
Yeah, when you have friends, bad movies are fun.
Yeah.
Bad movies by yourself is horrible. Fate worse than death.
Bad movies get better with the friends you share them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I want to leave a little cherry on this episode. I love doing user reviews,
Yes.
especially for these. But this is my favorite one, and I'm going to read it word for word. And I feel like this is a good place to wrap us all up. This movie was put on Tubi because it probably didn't have a top budget. However, unlike most Tubi movies, the main character acted in a true gangster style. The other characters were all over the place. I didn't hate the movie, and so sorry, the way it's phrased is weird. I didn't hate the movie, and I gave it a 9 out of 10. I would have likely given it a solid 10 if a little more was put into the storyline. One thing about Tubi is if you get established actors, you might get a wonderful movie. Again, this one was very good. To be honest, I could see a part 2 to this movie.
Yeah, we just came up with it.
It would love to see more backstory. There was some real moments of acting, and I appreciate that. And that's my favorite line. And I feel like really encapsulates what we're trying to do here on this
Yes.
podcast. There were some real moments of acting, and I appreciate that.
Right. And
I like how they were like, there was only one character that was well written, but 9 out of 10.
yes. Everyone was horrible, but I really liked the guy who was gangster. Yeah. And that's my vision. That's the whole vision for Tubi Decided is, we're here to celebrate cinema. And I know we talk a lot about naked picnics and how horrible they are. And
I didn't say that.
No, we didn't.
I mean, in the end, these are people doing their best with what little they have. And, making these funny, hilarious shortcuts that they did not need to make. So
True.
I hope you can see their hard work.
Absolutely.
Anywho, I've been Mike.
I'm Adam.
I'm Vin.
And I'm Ivy.
Thank you for listening to Be Decided.
Yeah. Got my popcorn for the show, it's Tubi time. Cheesy sci-fi flicks and every weird rhyme. Aliens and spaceships made of tinfoil dreams in a cardboard universe where nothing's as it seems. Yeah, that's it seems. They got ray guns blasting in a paper sky. Cheap effects, but fun enough to fill your eye. Plot holes deeper than a crater on the moon, but I'm hooked like fish to a melody and tune.